Hey guys, it's Mark, HPP. Want to give you a tour of the new JBV series. I know you guys have seen pictures and stuff, but I wanted to go a little bit more in depth and show you some of the design attributes, some of the new features. I put a lot of thought into these pedals, and I hope you agree that they came out very nice, and they're testing extremely well. And I would say it's, the next evolution, revolution, however you want to term it, over the PRX units. So we'll go through each of the pedal units, and I'll give you a little tour. All right. So we'll start out with the main unit here, of course, is the brake. Of course, this is completely different than what you've come to love in the PRX. First thing you'll notice is the master cylinder is now an inline version. Mechanically, this is just a superior approach. It's a superior design. You'll find these in all the high-end race teams and race equipment. What you get with that is a smoother operation because the rod going into the master cylinder is not at an angle. It's truly in line with the plunger. You get less friction, hence the smoother operation. It's been testing extremely well. The feel is awesome. What you've come to love from HPP. So before on the PRX you had the master cylinder, of course, and the slave cylinder. You had a board box out here with the circuit board. That's all gone now. The circuit board is now tucked down in here within the base, and we now have plugs, whereas your clutch and your throttle simply plug in. Doesn't matter which one, they're not labeled because you can plug in either or, it doesn't matter. But with the circuit board in there like that, it makes for a very compact and sleek design. Some people like to put these in actual tubs. I've had the requests for that, which of course room constraints and such make that pretty difficult. So this will be much more applicable to that. Because it's a new master cylinder, we took the time, made several improvements. We now have stainless steel plungers in the master. We have improved seals as well. On the slave cylinder side of things, you'll notice that the slave cylinder and the bumpers are now pointed forward toward the driver instead of back over here pointed rearward. Probably not a huge deal, but I thought, it would be better in that you could reach down and adjust your preload much easier. We also have a custom knob here to make it easier to adjust your preload instead of just the nut. There's actually a little hole in the knob as well. It's just kind of an indexing hole, so you can, if you're thinking, well, I want to try one more turn of preload, you can simply use the hole to index and dial in however much preload that you want. This is your main USB cable that plugs into your PC here. And of course, like I said, these are your clutch and throttle over here. You'll notice the new bumpers. We have custom molded polyurethane bumpers now. We have them in 5 hardnesses: 40, 50, 60, 70, and 80. I've tested many different bumper materials. I've always found that polyurethane was the best, but it's a material that's very hard to work with. It's hard to cut. So having custom molded allowed me to basically do what I wanted to do, which was use polyurethane for a material. And the way the profile works, of course, it's like a little progressive feel to it. And with 5 now instead of 2 hardnesses, you have a wide range of adjustments. So those are all new. These are completely retrofittable and can be used on the PRX units as well. All of the pedal arms now come standard, machined all the way through. They're not an option like they were with the PRXs. 6061 T6 aluminum, and these are nickel plated, and they look super nice nickel plated. They're super light. These will be good for the kinetic transducers and transmitting any of that feel through the kinetic transducers up into your foot. We did a bunch of little improvements. For example, no matter what, you have mechanical tolerances, you have clearances, etc. What we did was we now have acetyl, or Delrin, as you may know or be familiar with, shims in between the pedal arms and the base. And those are adjustable via these set screws. So what that gives you, basically there's no rattle, there's no slop, there's no variation or gap between the width of the pedal arm and the base. So like I said, these, for the people racing late at night and don't want to wake their wife up, these will work really well. We even have O-rings in the pockets of the pedal arms, in between the pedal arm and the clevis. I call these the TB O-rings. I'll show you. So on the pedal arm, you see this groove. That's where the O-ring goes. So the O-ring is sitting in there, and so once again, with a deviance in clearance here, instead of rattling and making noise, it's nice and tight because of the O-rings. The new pedal pads. We now have long throttle pad is all standard. The wide brake pad is standard, and the clutch pad is what it is. These are stainless steel, formed, nickel plated. Believe it or not, these are one of my proudest achievements. It's very easy to just do a flat pedal pad, cut out, no problem. But to have a formed curve along its, let's call it the axis, and the perimeter, that is not so easy. That requires very specialized tooling. Since I have my own laser machine now, cutting them out is no big deal. I can do custom pad non-skids as well. But these new pads work really well. Like I said, I just went ahead and did everybody always ordered the wide brake and the long throttle anyways. So now they are standard. They'll come with what you see here is the non-skid, and what's good about this material I use is it's good stuff. It's not abrasive like sandpaper. Gives you good grip. You can run in, if you want to run in your socks, it's no problem. And the material will come off very easily. So this is what's standard, and I'm also playing around with some different designs. This is just one that I came up with. So if you want to put a new one on, this one's been on and off a few times, so it doesn't have quite as much stick, but they don't go anywhere. They definitely don't slide off, so don't worry about that. But they're easily replaced, changed out, etc. I'm not sure if I mentioned or showed. Again, on the PRX units, you had the transducer hanging out, attached to the slave cylinder. Now it's tucked up in this brake unit here. Same transducer as before, same very high precision, same very high quality. So let's check out the throttle. Same 6061, nickel plated, pedal arms. Already told you about the standard long pad. One of the things we improved is the wiper system that comes in contact with the linear membrane potentiometer down here. Have a ball bearing in there actually now, and it works really well, and so it rolls across the membrane instead of before it was a little plastic tip that would eventually wear out. We're talking a lot of use, but the goal is to have these things never wear out, really. So having a ball bearing in here for the pot, I think is going to be a really good improvement. We still have optional primary spring weights for different feel if you want a light versus a strong. And cool thing is when you want to change out your springs now, there's no tools, there's no nothing. You don't have to take anything off. You'll see how simple this is. That's how simple it is. You want to put a new spring in, you just put it in its pocket. That's it. So you can change out your primary spring super easy. This is the same on both the throttle and the clutch. Also, you can adjust the throw of the pedal via, there's a little cam down here, and the set comes with different lengths, so you can adjust your throttle throw if you want from long to short. Other than that, it's plug it in and go. You can see how narrow, this is 1.5 inches wide, to give you an idea. So basically the whole thing is 1.5 inches wide. Clutch, same thing, same type of arms, same pads, same non-rattles everywhere. It's basically just like the throttle, except of course now we have the pressure plate mechanisms. This is a really super tight and compact mechanism. Basically there's a spring in this housing and the cam is pushing down on the spring, and these bearings ride on the cam, so as you press forward you actuate that cam and you get that pressure plate feeling. I really wanted to keep something overall as compact as possible. That was one of the themes going on here, and so this mechanism is how I accomplished that. So mounting. You have now 3 different options for mounting. One option is basically similar to what you've had in the past, where you have these integrated tabs. These dimensions, the whole pattern, and the diameter is the same as the PRX's, so there's no change there. If you already have a rig set up, you can just simply bolt it on. If you are using an 80-20 type of mounting system, you know how this works is you just get plenty of flexibility in its mounting, tight it down, and it's good to go. That's option 1. Option 2 is we have these mounting tabs. If you have maybe a flat pedal tray of some sort or a rig of some sort like that, we have these rear tabs that of course you can see are adjustable in their angle, so you have that adjustability in the tabs. You've seen these before. Same thing in the front. Of course the front's going to pivot and the rear is going to adjust. You could also of course mount vertically however you want, doesn't matter. Pedals don't care. So that's another option for mounting. Then option 3, basically the same tabs that you just saw, except they're not bent. And that works well for the 1.5" 80-20 profile. So you still have your fore and aft adjustment, but now you also have an angle adjustment as well. So both of these types of tabs are available, the straight ones and the bent ones that you just saw. Heel rest, we have a stainless steel heel rest like before. This one's a little simpler. Basically it has the HPP logo on it, and it has these little brackets that you can mount right to your rig. It has some adjustment in it, so you can adjust it fore and aft, etc. But that's about it. I think you'll agree that these are, it's a super nice design. I'm very proud of it. It's been a long haul, changing over all of the production, the jigs, the programming. There's a lot of people waiting on these things. I'm very appreciative of everyone being so patient, but let me tell you, the results and what you're going to get, it's going to be worth it. I promise you that. So that's about it. That's the new JBV series. Hope you like them. If you have any questions, send us an email. Always like to hear from our customers. And Thanks for watching.